I'm Jake.
And I'm Marlin.
Welcome back. It's been a while.
Been a while.
And today we're doing a fresh from the theater review. We just got back from seeing Ballerina, the sequel, prequel, kind of spin-off of the John Wick franchise. It takes place in the same universe, but it takes place in between the third and fourth film, based on what I've read. And out of the gate, did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
I enjoyed it a lot. If I had to give it a thumb review, I would give it not 1, but 2. This was a goddamn blast of an action film.
A lot of action, and it was nice to have John Wick too.
John Wick is in it, but not a lot. It's not a cameo, but it's not like a huge supporting role. But the main character is as they say, ballerina named Eve Macaro, played by Ana de Armas, who many will know. She's been in a lot of stuff over the past 10 years. I know her best from Blade Runner 2049 and Knives Out, and she was great in both of those movies, and I think you enjoyed those films when we saw them.
Yes.
Her character is a kid whose father was killed many years ago and was taken in by the director, a character from the third John Wick film, played by Angelica Houston. And in that film, her character was more or less a glorified cameo. Mm-hmm. Here, she's given a lot more to do.
Yeah, she was mean.
Mean, but had a purpose. And it's a little hard to explain, but basically she's, I believe, one of the people that also had trained John Wick many years ago. He had a history with her.
Yes. And
she trains a legion of assassins / ballerinas. And the Eve character, she's got, this film is brutal from the opening. Yeah, they just go into it, and it's not a light film at all. The John Wick films are always known to be brutal, but goddamn, they just go into it. They give her a great tragic backstory, and then we see her become assimilated into this society. And Angelica Houston's character, she's a mentor, sort of a mother figure, but it's clear one bad move and any good relations go out the door.
Yes, she's in charge, and there is no deviation.
And at first, we see her become an assassin, and we see her become part of the world. But then she gets a clue as to the people who were responsible for killing her father when she was a child. And like John Wick, with his wife and the puppy, has to settle the score. And it's all personal, deeply personal. And Ana de Armas, she was great here. I thought she gave an excellent performance. She wasn't just like a stone-faced action hero. She had a lot of layers, a lot of depth, I felt.
Oh yeah, very much. And even the training to be a ballerina that they all went through, it was brutal as well.
And to me, I think I saw that as a way of training her and preparing her to not only be quick with the moves, but also to tolerate the pain.
Yes, to never give up.
Which is the only reason I can think of as to why she doesn't just go fucking down during 80% of these fights, because there is a lot of full body contact fighting in this, and it's amazing. You really have to suspend disbelief that any of these people could just get up or keep fighting, but it's well made, it's well choreographed, and you just go with it.
Yeah, in truth.
And the big question, I guess, is the action good? And for me, I thought it was just a fucking spectacle.
Yes, it was. It was just ongoing, unrelenting, the endurance and the pain and all of that. But it was the backstory of this whole thing kept unraveling, one tick at a time, all the way, even up to the last few minutes of the movie. And so everything, it was working together. It was a story that was happening, and the action that she provided was outstanding. A well-trained assassin person knows how to take it, knows how to hand it out, but there's still human sides to her.
Yeah, there's a lot of humanity, and the best thing I can compare this to in terms of how the action is non-stop is the Mad Max movies. I mean, John Wick, they always have non-stop action, but this kind of reminds me a little bit of Furiosa, the one we saw last year. Another spin-off of a much bigger franchise that had a female lead, but gave it a lot of depth and intense backstory.
It was ongoing and revealing. They were peeling, back the onion of the story all the way through, and the imagination of the combat and all of that kind of stuff, I guess you call it the choreography of it, was outstanding.
And what's really cool is that a lot of these action sequences are done in like long, ongoing takes. There are some cuts at here and there, but there's a fair amount of like one-shot action sequences, and I'm sure they did some CGI, but it's extremely impressive just how much they were able to cram. Like, you can tell they must have worked their asses off to get these sequences done just right. And we got like knives, so many knives. We got an endless amount of guns, and we get fucking flamethrowers. Man, those flamethrower sequences were just, that was, I don't know what to say other than it was theatrical to the fucking max.
It was something, they just
kept
pouring it on.
You gotta see to find out. That's all I'll say. The supporting cast, they brought back many of the favorites, and you could tell this movie was shot years ago for one big reason. The Continental, the hotel where the assassins go, where everyone has to play nice, it's back, and clearly before number 4, where it went down. And we have Ian McShane. He's in it pretty early. He appears a few times throughout, and it's always good to see him with his amazing, smooth voice.
Yes, he's always welcome.
And of course, the final appearance of Lance Reddick as Sharon, McShane's number 2 guy. It's not huge, but it is nice to see him and see that he was able to get one more film many years beyond the grave.
Yeah, well, hopefully whoever's ever in the will is going to be getting some compensation.
And Keanu Reeves, yes, he is in it. And while it's not like he's not the main character, but he does add again, like we talk about how in Armas' Eve, she has a lot of humanity. Bringing John Wick in shows again that there is some people here who have not been completely turned dark. Their interactions, I do feel, were kind of touching, just in the sense that he knew she wasn't a bad person, and he did believe in her.
Yeah, but he, learning his lesson from prior actions, he played by the rules. Maybe in one case bent it by a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm. And
stay tuned, you'll like it.
The last 2 actors to talk about are the new players. One is Norman Reedus, who you know best from The Boondock Saints, and many people know best from The Walking Dead. All I'll say is, he's only in it a little bit, but he's kind of the heart, the center heart of the film, and in the little screen time he has, you really grew to care about him and the connection he has to the story.
For sure.
And he did kick some ass before
He did.
before they moved on. And lastly, the big bad, who they call the Chancellor, played by Gabriel Byrne, an actor who has been around for decades, and we all know him in several different roles. He's done good guys, bad guys. Man, he was a evil son of a bitch here.
He did, but he always found a way of wrapping things around that were beneficial to him to be good for their system that they've had and their particular cult and all that other kind of thing.
Yeah, he's a cult leader, and don't fall for it. But yeah, he and Andy Armas, they worked well off each other in their few talk scenes.
Yeah.
It was a solid ride. I got invested, and I was able to go with it, as I do with most of the John Wick films. And the fourth one I did like, but I was glad this one wasn't 3 hours.
Yes, 2 hours plus is, if you can't say it in 2 hours plus, you maybe should have more movies. I'll say this, the combat that took place between the new lead and John Wick was very interesting and revealing as well.
Agreed. And there is, because even though the Wick films are brutal action, they do make a point to have a little bit of humor. And there is some here. The funniest moment for me was this sequence where they are fighting in a restaurant and then they move from guns to just using kitchen utensils and eventually plates. That was probably the funniest for me.
Wasn't pies in the face, it was, plates over the head. But they were they were running out of other things to hit each other with.
And there's a scene where she's smashing someone in the head with a TV remote. And every time she hits them, the TV channel changes. And this is silly, but it made me laugh. And it was cool. Like, every time she hits her, the channel changes to another scene of somebody getting hit. And we get some recognizable classics. The Three Stooges, Airplane. They have a clip of Airplane in this movie. I liked it. I think it's definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth experiencing on the big screen.
Yes. And I think, I don't like to tell the endings, and it was an interesting ending, that's for sure.
Leaves it.
But it's open to further development of this particular character.
Yeah.
In the international criminal element, all that kind of thing.
I don't know if we'll ever get a follow-up that goes beyond John Wick 4, but we might get a follow-up with this character if the movie does well, which I hope it does. And I guess the last question to ask is, did you have any cons?
Any cons? Not particularly. I was taken up with the movie. I followed it. I liked the thing that they kept giving you more about saying, oh, okay, that's why, and you were putting it together. It was very complex in a certain way, in that certain way.
I only had two, and they're very minor. One, I guess, might be a bit more of a nitpick. Just the first time, she ever gets, knocked down by a simple tap on the head. I'm like, really? That's what knocks her down? After jumping around, getting whacked, whopped, shot at, stabbed. But they recover from that fast. And the last one, it's just a minor one, and I'm not going to detail it too much, but John Wick is hired to come in and do a job, and just feels a little weird that he would be hired, because at this point, around the third film's continuity, wasn't he marked for death?
I think that was part of the deal. He probably had, you are dead, but you can do this and not die. I got that vibe out of it.
A little bit of a stretch, but it's not major. I still think it all came together excellently well. And we'll see what goes from here. And hopefully you enjoyed our quick, not exactly spoiler heavy review.
True, not spoiler heavy. Yes, and if you like an action film, if you like the sort of thing that goes on in John Wick's movies, you will like this.
Fuck yeah. From the director of Live Free or Die Hard, and from a screenwriter who, to my shock, is only 1 year older than me. I gotta do more with my life. Anyway, this was fun. I'm glad we could get to see it. Glad to have you back, old man. And we'll see you again, hopefully soon.
Soon.